Hello everybody, it's vanburman here. Welcome back to part 4, I think. Yes, part 4 of Steam Deck Unsupported games, of which actually most of them can work. So, yeah, the first one we're going to look at is Pro Evolution Soccer 2021. For any people that, for whatever reason, bought a Steam Deck to play that, it does work. It's not always quite as straightforward. You do have the launcher to go through. It then crashed once I got back into it and then decided to work. But I must say, once we got into the actual main game, all the menus and everything ran really well. The game itself ran really well. I had played 2 matches. I didn't score any goals, but played 2 matches. And yeah, there was not really any hiccup. There was a slight stuttering, I guess, in transitions. So, you know, between going from gameplay to replays and that sort of stuff. But I guess, do I only notice it because I've got the frame times up? Probably. But the rest of the gameplay is actually really smooth, and I have watched back the footage, and the footage doesn't look quite as smooth as it was using on the handheld. So yeah, just to really be aware of that. But I imagine you could probably play this perfectly fine. I'm not going to test eFootball, obviously, but yeah, I know this one's a bit more niche, I suppose, but you've got a football game, I guess. I've not got any FIFAs, so I don't know if they're supported or not, but there you go. Pro Evo 2021 will just work straight out the bat. So the next game on the list was Lord of the Rings Lego Edition, unsupported. I only have one of the other Lego games that was either playable or something, I can't remember. So it's a bit deceptive, this one, because you get the splash screen come up and then straight away booted back to your library. So for this one, there is actually a workaround, which I found through ProtonDB. I'll go through how to do that later. So that one's going to be coming up towards the end of the video. But yeah, just so you know, that this one will work with a workaround. So I had this one requested, which is Gary's Mod. It is down as unsupported, which is a bit strange to me, since it's a source game. And, you know, Left 4 Dead, Left 4 Dead 2 work perfectly fine. Left 4 Dead 2 being the better of those examples. But this loads in, it allows me to start a single player. The controls are a bit finicky. You probably do want to certainly change the controls. Do some like custom control scheme. There's probably one already inside the community settings. But yes, it works. Runs fine, as you would expect. It's quite an old game now. Didn't try any of the online multiplayer stuff. But yeah, you can technically play it, I guess. So yeah, that's good news, I guess. I mean, probably a bit more awkward to play as opposed to mouse and keyboard and stuff, but yeah, if you wanted to, you can. That's quite a lot of frame rate, but there you go. That's to be expected. Another viewer request was Insurgency, a game that I have played before, not since 2014 though, apparently. This game starts up fine first time. Actually runs incredibly well. I found it quite difficult with the controls though, and they were classified as unmapped. So once again, it's one that you want to have a play around with the control scheme, but there's no real reason as to why you can't run this and get it working properly. Yeah, everything runs smooth as you like. Obviously, caveat to that is I do try to run all these on medium if I can do. And that's probably the best solution for a lot of the games on the Steam Deck. But yeah, you won't, like I say, you won't have any issues even out of the box. It works fine. But yeah, just want to be aware of. Once again, I didn't try the online matchmaking on this one. I just played through the first tutorial mission, and everything seemed fine. So I'm gonna suggest that this one is working. And yeah, if you wanted to play this on Steam Deck, you should be able to. Like I say, probably just take a bit of getting used to though with the control scheme. So I wasn't really sure whether to include this one or not, Elite Dangerous. Obviously the VR mode isn't going to work. I couldn't get into the game because it wouldn't allow me to sign in or create an account through the whatever the account software is, unfortunately. And yeah, it just wouldn't let me click on the button. So even using a mouse. So I'm not really, I'm not too sure. I just wanted to flag it up that I did look at it. and I've been pretty inconclusive with this one. So if it is something that you're into, maybe someone else with Steam Deck's had better luck or perhaps more persistence than me. But I just wanted to cross it off to say that I did have a look at it, but I'm not really prepared to give an answer on this one. And now on to Warhammer Endtimes Vermintide. This one I was hoping would work, actually. I had some, quite hopes. I thought, anything that's, I sort of think the Steam Deck lends itself quite well to games like this. Unfortunately, there are some issues looking on ProtonDB in particular with multiplayer, but this one was really with regards to there was quite a lot of mentions of long loading times, which I'll share with you at the end. And yeah, it was just a pain because it seemed like everything was working. You can get in single player into the tavern and everything else. You have to do it. You have to run it without the launcher. If you run the launcher, the game will not start. So this one will just not get me into a game despite how much I tried. So there's clearly some work to do with Vermintide, and also to another extent that Vermintide 2 is the same thing. Having a look on ProtonDB though, that's down as balked, and that just will not run at all. I believe that's because of the anti-cheat software, which of course there is no easy fix for, and as all the games are sort of online as well, whereas it is mainly an online game, to be fair, then yeah, it's just not, it's one of those that just isn't going to work, which, as I say, I think the Steam Deck lends itself really well to these sort of games that are a bit, cooperative, hack and slashers, that sort of thing. And judging by the performance in the tavern, it looked like it would work perfectly fine. And I did take heed of some of the comments regarding the fact that it's got really long loading times. So I thought, maybe that's something that might be the case here, and if I just leave it, it will be fine. So the following footage is at 5,000% speed, and yeah, I did eventually give up, of course, but yeah, it just would not load at all, although some people had said that they could get in. So I don't know really what to say about this one. Well, I can only say that it doesn't work, which is a shame because it probably isn't actually too far off. So, as promised earlier in the video, I said I would talk about how to get Lego Lord of the Rings working. So, the way I did it was by going into Proton Hacks, and you need to install the correct DirectX 3 DLL. That's basically the reason as to why it isn't working, and this is very unprofessional of me, but I am just going to go into ProtonDB while I am talking about this. It's something that I do, though. I do look in to ProtonDB especially when I get issues with games. If they just work out the box, I don't bother, but if there is a way to fix it, then it is worth going in and doing. So if you go into the settings where you can obviously add the DLLs, you're looking for the one which I'm going to be ticking in a moment anyway, which is D3DX9_41. Unfortunately, I was looking in the wrong place for a little bit, but once you have that installed, you go into the game. It runs pretty well, actually. There are some stutters here and there when you're playing. I wouldn't say that it particularly makes the game more difficult or that it's too much of an annoyance. I think it's something that you can get over. But if you were desperate to play Lego Lord of the Rings, which is actually a pretty good game, to be fair, I actually feel I did quite a good job with it. And I'm not all that keen on Lego games, but yeah, it's could be worth playing. I probably, if I'm honest, until there is a bit more native support, if there is ever going to be, I would suggest probably not going out and buying it particularly for this purpose. But if it's something you already have and you want to play it, you can do. And I think you will have a good enough experience as well in it. And also there may be some other tweaks that can be done to reduce the amount of stutters. Not that they're all that often. You can tell from the footage anyway. I will leave in a little bit of footage at the after my voiceover segment or drawing, so you can see exactly how it runs for yourself. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed another Steam Deck Unsupported videos. I'm actually really enjoying doing the investigation for this, and also being able to enact some of the workarounds as well. I am trying to stay away from anything that is sort of too experimental, like the Proton experimental stuff, because I'm sort of trying to walk the fine line between some involvement and then doing whatever it takes to get stuff working. I think initially, at least, it's interesting to know what is classed as unsupported, but now just fully works straight away. And you know, that's sort of the main bit that I wanted to pick up. Anyway, guys, any suggestions? Let me know. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
It was in this moment that Isildur, son of the king, took up his father's sword. Sauron, the enemy of the free peoples of Middle-earth, was defeated. The ring passed to Isildur, who had this one chance to destroy evil forever.
Isildur, hurry!